All right, guys, welcome to the iGEN channel. I'm here with Pat, the owner and founder of iGEN, and we're going to start a YouTube series where we answer a lot of questions that parents have about junior golf. So let's get into it. All right, Pat, so we get asked all the time, what makes iGEN a little bit different? And one of the biggest questions is, why do junior golfers need different weighted clubs or custom weighted clubs as opposed to adults?
Well, Jared, the main thing is the customization of it when a kid grows. That was my biggest thing, is I could fit any kid to a set of clubs that would be fine for them for 8-10 months. But what I had to figure out was they're growing all the time. The lie angles change, and then the weighting changes. And what I really had to figure out was how to make that accessible. Nobody's more sensitive than a junior player. I worked the tour for, 10 years? They don't change that much. Juniors change all the time. And there's not anything out there that will change with you. So they'll sell you a set that every 6 inches the kid grows, and then they change into another set. Well, there's only a small period of time in there when that set fits them perfectly. So We're about adjustment. We're about keeping that kid, the player, healthy throughout all of their use of those clubs, and then we can extend it a lot further into the future. So for every inch a kid grows, it's a half an inch in shaft length change. So people get confused. If they grow 3 inches, that's 1.5 inches, but that's significant in head weight. So a lot of people don't understand what swing weight is. Swing weight is more like a centrifugal weight. And as that club gets longer, that weight needs to change on the head so that that player feels synced in. For example, out on the tour, or actually anywhere in the retail, you want to swing weight your set so that it's all basically the same. So when that kid, that player's swinging that iron, it feels like the same weight, even though through the wedges all the way to the driver, they have that same centrifugal weight. So it's so important to keep up with it. And I created a program where we can keep them healthy, incorporate the parent, teach the parent a little bit about this. And it's not rocket science. This stuff has been around for years. It's just that the junior market has refused to address it. Maybe they think it's too much work or too much communication with the parent. Well, that's what we specialize in, communicating with the parent, keeping the player healthy, keeping the parent in the know.
So basically what you're saying is, if you buy a set of clubs and it's one of these companies that you get a free reshaft or whatnot, and you're changing 6 inches, if that shaft is 6 inches different, or if it's like you were talking about with the swing weight, if they just reshaft that club without adjusting the head weight, then basically that club's not really fit for that kid anymore, because you're adding weight and length, but you're not adding weight to the end to make that swing weight correct.
That's correct. I'm not bashing any other club companies or anything like that, but if you get a free reshaft on something and you've extended that same club 3 inches, well, that lie angle on that club has to change. Anybody playing golf, if they didn't notice, every club in their bag, the lie angle is different based on the length of the club. And if you don't change that, especially 3 inches is pretty significant, 6 inches is out of this world, but if that does not change, then the angles don't match up. That's just simple math in the golf business. And so the lie angles have to be able to change. We chose forged heads for that reason. We didn't do forged for the player's comfort level of how soft and buttery they feel. It was a necessity to be able to make that iron move and keep that player healthy. It sounds like rocket science, but we help the parent just understand that. We show them methods for when the kid gets a little taller, we show them a method to where they can measure that like we did out on tour. It's very simple.
So here at iGEN, we offer customization to each and every set. You get on our website, there is a place for you to type in the height. There's also a place for them to contact you, send in a video as well so that we can see the swing. And what's your main purpose in being able to see that swing? I mean, is it so that you just want to see how good the kid swings, or you just want to, you're looking for certain aspects of the swing to be able to put the right shaft or flex or anything like that in it?
Nowadays, there's so many specialists in custom fitting. Even like I reference the tour a lot because, well, we're out there fitting every day, Monday through Wednesday before a tournament, and those are pretty sensitive fits. We're talking about the best players in the world. But in this case, I can look at a player. I've already figured out what the flex should be based on the height of the player. And all I really need to see, I communicate with each parent. I don't know what company does that, but every customer has my direct cell phone. And I communicate, I look at these videos. I have the parents send me a couple of videos of them swing. I look for tempo. I've gotten pretty good at being able to look at a kid and watch their swing just to see if I need to make an adjustment to what I've already planned for them. That's basically it. It's way more simple than what people make it sound like. They think there's some computer is studying the swing, and then through that formula I can build the club. I already know what their height should be, the length of that club should be, and I look at the videos, and that just gives me a warm feeling that I've got this right. And that's basically how we do it. And then plus, if for some reason we get it wrong, it's on us. We take care of all of that. So people don't know that in the golf business, it's very custom, or people don't know in the golf business that once you get fit, you own it. Here, we want you satisfied. So if we do something that isn't perfect, either we have a solution for those clubs where you're at, or you call us and it's on us. So we get everything fixed. So we don't have anybody out there that ever says, oh, they're okay, they're not great. We demand great, and it's on us to get it great.
All right, well, we hope that answered y'all's question about why junior golfers need different weighted clubs than adults. I'm going to throw in a little bit as well. If the club is too heavy, and I'm coming from a coach's standpoint, if the club is too heavy, not only is it going to create bad habits, it's basically just going to create bad habits. It's going to be really hard to take a good player and give them something that's way too heavy or way too long and let them progress in the game. I hear it all the time with my students and stuff. Parents are like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of these. They can grow into it. I mean, if you've got good players, you don't want to grow into it. You want the club to grow with them. We can keep adjusting. We can keep average. But if you start with it too long, too short, too heavy, too light, it's going to create habits, and all those habits are going to be bad. So if you want to help your junior golfer, if you want to let them be the best they can be, contact us here at iGEN, and we'll make sure that they have the correct length and we will make sure they have the correct weight and the correct length shafts. And anything else?
Yeah, you know what? Let me demonstrate a little something to them. So nowadays, the industry is going out there, well, they think lighter is better. Oh, this is the lightest club on the market right here. Light is not always the answer either. But so when you're talking about kids getting in habits of the weight of the club and they're developing their swing and stuff like that, we can find that. It's not quantified anywhere that at a certain height and a certain weight that this kid needs X, Y, and Z. We have to find that out. And I incorporate the parent and the player and myself and the team to find out what that weight is. So for example, on the iGENs, obviously these are different colors here, but these are all 1 gram weight. These are a little bit heavier. These are 2.5. So at the very beginning, say the kid's pretty young, 7, 8, 9 years old, we can incorporate that. What we find out, so once you get these heads, then we can reduce and increase weight to the kids' level, the parents involved in that, and we can start incorporating heavier weights. So we don't know, and neither does anybody else, what exactly your kids' irons are supposed to weigh out at. We just give you a way to figure it out and be satisfied based on your testing and the likability of the player.
So going back to this, you talked about 7, because a lot of parents, their thing is how early can my kids start playing iGEN. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weights in here. This is 5 grams that we can take out. So you can actually play these clubs without any weights in them, correct?
A lot of times, because the kids going from a very light club that they've outgrown, and then they get an iGEN, which is a little bit more serious fit, you can actually take these weights out temporarily. I always tell everybody, keep them in a drawer because you will be putting them back pretty soon. But sometimes we take all the weights out just to help the kid transition into a little more serious product. And then the parent can take these out and put them back in when they feel like it. They're ready to handle a little bit more weight. This isn't a whole lot of weight, but that's the beauty of all of this is we can work in small increments. We're not a company that goes out there and tells you, hey, if your kid's 8 years old, this is the weight that he has to be hitting or she has to be hitting. We don't know that.
Yep.
And I've got a pretty good education of working the tour for 10 years of seeing how sensitive guys, players, women, the LPGA players can be. And so, but we will find out. We've made it simple, and we incorporate, like I said, we will educate you on how to deal with this. It's very easy, but you can rest assured that your player is playing the right weight stuff just based on the likability of it and the performance.
I know we keep rambling here, but I keep kind of adding on top of this. And what, as a parent, and Pat can back me up on this, I would imagine, you can look at your child and you can look at the ball flight. You can look at a couple of swings once they get their clubs, and you can be like, these might be a little bit too heavy here, or we might need to add a little bit more weight based on the way they're hitting, where they're hitting it on the club face, and different things like that. Would that be correct?
Yep. Yeah. It's as easy as when you sit down in a restaurant and you ask your little player there, hey, how's that casserole taste? That's how easy we make it. We give you the ability to sit down with your junior player and go through this process, and they can like, well, that feels pretty good, or all of a sudden the performance of the ball strike goes up, and we get you educated. And at the end of the day, like I said, nobody really knows what the perfect swing is. All the players are different, and it's a very sensitive time in their lives where they might have the height, but they hasn't gone through that strength spurt where they get a little stronger. We adapt to all of that, and as they do migrate, we're ready, and the parents ready to make the proper adjustments so you don't go another 3 months and wait to buy a new set. We get it done right now. Like I said, everybody has my cell phone. You pick it up, send me a text, give me a call, and that's all part of my program. I don't mind at all. I actually enjoy it. And either somebody on our staff can answer your questions, I can answer it directly, and we can take this weighting and figure it out for you and incorporate you to know what your kid likes, what he performs best with. So I don't know what else to do there, because you're either telling people what they need to have, or you're working with them and you figure it out together. So
that's awesome, guys. Thank you all for watching the channel. If you have any more questions, heck, put it in the comments different questions that you might have, and we'll try to answer them. See y'all next time.